So that's kind of what that story is. They also find a random child. Apparently I have lots of random children in my books, but kids are cute, so that's why. Hello everyone, and welcome to another video. So for today's video, I'm going to be taking part in the Christian author tag, which was started by Jenna and Mourik and her friend. And so I'm just going to start. I'm going to introduce myself. If you haven't heard of me, I'm Heather Manning. I'm author of Swept to Sea and Carried Home. I didn't have a copy of Carried Home nearby, and I'm kind of filming in a rush, so you can imagine the cover right here. Maybe I'll post a picture of it here. But anyway, I'll add it to my video. So yes, I'm an author. I was first published when I was 16, and I'm the author of Christian fiction. So here we go with the video. Oh my gosh, that was a loud noise. Stop. Anyway, I'm going to acknowledge that yes, I am wearing like a vintage bed coat as a top. I have a tank top under it, don't worry, it's the same color as my skin. Actually, it's darker than my skin, but people think I'm not wearing anything under it. Anyway, I thought it was cute and I'm wearing it as a top, so don't worry about commenting because I know it's not really a top and it's a nightgown thing. Anyway, here, let's start with the Christian author tag. So anyway, I didn't explain this clearly. It's a series of questions, and then at the end I'm going to tag some Christian authors and so on, and it's going to go on. So, first question is, what does it mean to you to write Christian fiction? So, to me, writing Christian fiction means taking some of your personal faith, because I know, why would you be writing Christian fiction if you aren't a Christian? I assume you're a Christian if you're writing Christian fiction. Anyway, it's taking some of your personal faith and putting it in your writings. In my writing, it usually just means my characters are Christian and hold Christian beliefs. I don't write preachy Christian fiction, which some people do. I like to write fiction that my friends can read who aren't necessarily Christians, and they won't feel uncomfortable, but it also has that seed of God's word in it, and that's how I usually categorize my Christian fiction. It means a lot to me because it's my little way of spreading God's word or Christian beliefs or good morals to the world through my writing, through my talents. Okay, so the next question is, what are your books about? So my first book, Swept to Sea, and I'm going to link my books below, but my first book, Swept to Sea, is about a young lady who stows aboard a pirate ship to escape an abusive marriage, her abusive fiance, and then she falls in love with the pirate of the captain of the pirate ship. Sorry, words are hard. The captain of the pirate ship. Why is this so difficult? And then they find new hopes upon the sea. That's basically my elevator pitch. But yeah, it's just about a young woman who is in England in the late 1600s, and she wants to find her own path in life and not be married to this guy that she doesn't love who is abusive. And it's also about this guy named Caspian who he's been mourning the loss of his wife for several years, and he's trying to seek revenge for the guy who killed her, and he's with his young son, and it's a very cute Disney-esque love story. I just love it. And then my sequel, Carried Home, which I should have grabbed a copy of it to film this video. I'm sorry, here's the cover again. Anyway, so Carried Home is about Eden, who's the main character of this, her best friend, who went to the Caribbean to save her friend, and she ends up getting stranded there, and then this other guy who's secondary character in Swept to Sea, Gage, he is suddenly captain, and he doesn't really know what to do with his sudden power. He's not very comfortable being a captain all out of the blue, so he's got to learn how to be a captain and stand up for himself. So that's kind of what that story is. They also find a random child. Apparently I have lots of random children in my books, but kids are cute, so that's why. Anyway, and then my third book, Tossed Together, coming out at the end of 2018, is about their other friend, Amy, who finds herself married to a man that she really has hated for many years. It's a love-hate relationship, and they're going to have to figure out how to love each other by the end of the book because they had to marry each other to get out of a situation. So that's what my books are about. I'm also writing a time travel book right now. More on that later. But that's where I am right now. Okay, so the next question is, what are some books from Christian authors you've read? Okay, I basically only read Christian fiction. I'll read some others sometimes. Some of my favorites right now are Olivia Twist by Lori Langdon, anything by Mary Connolly, anything by Deanne Gist. I think Fair Play is one of her most recent ones. I love it. I love Love on the Line. Who else? I love Karen Whitmire. I love, what is that called? I can't remember the name of that book. I love it. It's the one with Levi in it. The guy has a lisp. Oh my gosh, I can't remember. I'm sorry, Karen Whitmire. I love that book. Anyway, those are some of my favorite Christian fiction authors. Those are some of my favorite books from them. I also love Lisa Berggren. She writes time travel too. I love her Waterfall series. Yeah, so those are some of my favorites. Okay, next question is, did you know you wanted to write Christian fiction? Yes, for the most part. When I was younger, I used to write lots of short stories in my English classes, and I loved to write ghost stories, like spooky stories, and it was always kind of Scooby-Doo-esque. It was like never there was a real ghost. Maybe once or twice there was. It was always kind of fun. I always liked writing family-friendly stories, and then I really wanted to write love stories. And I was like, well, these aren't very clean when I was reading some of them, and I found the Christian fiction genre, and that's all I've written ever since. So I guess I kind of, ever since I found that genre, I knew it was what I wanted to write. I always wanted to write clean, kind of fun, family-friendly stuff. So, next question. How would you say your writing affects your relationship with the Lord and how you view the Bible? I'd say a lot of my characters' weaknesses with their faith usually come from me a little bit, or how I was feeling at the time where I was writing it, and it usually helps strengthen my faith when my characters go through stuff and they get a happy result and they come back to the Lord. So I think that it is really tied closely with my personal beliefs and my relationship with the Lord. I know in my one book, Carried Home, Gage ends up, he sees that Abby is struggling with something, and he ends up like marking all of these passages in the Bible for her to help her with her doubting, and it's just really sweet. And I had to look up all those verses and find the perfect verses for Gage to highlight, and that was kind of fun, and that kind of also helped me. So, number 6, is there a sense of responsibility when it comes to writing Christian fiction to be faithful to the message of Christianity? Do you see it as being a stressful or difficult part of writing, or as a great opportunity to share God's love? Yeah, there is a sense of responsibility. You don't want to get anything wrong. You don't want to be blasphemous or anything, so there is responsibility. Like, I'm not trained as a pastor or anything, so like, I gotta really make sure what I'm putting in is right and true. So yeah, you don't want to misquote the Bible. You don't want to do anything of that. And you kind of, for me, I try to not be too heavy on the Christianity element, because I want my friends to read it and not feel like I'm preaching to them and not feel uncomfortable. So I also have the responsibility of not offending anyone too. So yeah, that kind of is a responsibility. Number 7, what makes Christian fiction different from other genres? For the most part, because it's clean, that's different from other genres. You know, you don't have all that stuff in your books. It's also different because it has some of God's word in it, so you gotta find what you want to add and add it, and that's a whole other thing compared to what other writers do. Number 8, how is it different from writing regular fiction, Christian fiction? Okay, that's kind of like the other question. It's just you have the responsibility of getting the Bible right and not misquoting anything, not doing anything blasphemous, so it's a little different, but it's also the same. I mean, if you're writing fantasy, you've got to stay true to your fantasy world you created, and I'm writing Christian fiction, so I've got to stay true to the Bible that's already created, and I write historical, so I'm used to staying accurate historically, so kind of similar. What are some challenges to writing Christian fiction that might not be challenges for writing another genre? Yeah, it's, you gotta make sure everything is correct, because you don't want to lead any people astray, you know? Number 10, is it harder to write Christian fiction? Yes, but no. It is harder because you don't want to mess anything up. But also in other genres, like historical, you gotta make sure stuff is accurate, and in your fantasy world, you gotta make sure stuff is accurate to that, and so on and so forth, you know. Number 11, when strangers ask you what to write, is it ever difficult to explain Christian fiction? Do you struggle to share your faith in these situations? Yes, and that is evidenced by what I was talking about before. So, yes, it is hard. When you're talking to someone, you don't know. Sorry, I'm looking for my next thing. Okay. When you're talking to someone, you don't know what their faith is. You don't know if they are Christian, if they're going to be suddenly turned off by you because you write Christian fiction. So lots of times I will just say I write clean romance, and it's the truth. Like I don't write preachy Christian fiction, like I said. So it's kind of hard because you're kind of also denying your faith when you say that. But if they seem interested, then I'll go and say like it's Christian fiction and stuff. So also with my friends at school, I didn't go to a Christian school or anything, so like I didn't want to turn them off from my books either. And yeah, so it is pretty hard to talk to people about it, and then yeah, you don't want to turn anybody off, but you want them to read it, but you don't want to deny your faith either. So it is kind of hard. It's easier online when you're talking to an audience you know reads Christian fiction and understands it already and is a Christian audience. But also that I'm in YouTube, anybody can find me, so I hope to not turn anybody away by what I write, you know what I mean? So yeah, that is pretty hard. So that is the Christian fiction author tag. I am going to tag some people now at the end of this video to hopefully do this. You can do it on YouTube, on your Instagram story, on your blog, whatever medium you want. But I hope that you do this and continue this tag on because it's pretty fun. So I'm going to tag Nadine Brandis, Karen Martin, and Lori Langdon. So go check them out. I'm going to link to them below. And hopefully they'll do their tags soon. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for tagging me, Jenna. Go check out Jenna's channel below. I'm going to tag her as well down below. Put her in the comments. And thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe to me if you aren't already subscribed. Hit the bell icon so you get a notification every time I post a new video. I post videos every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so please stay tuned. And hit the like button if you like this video. Comment below your thoughts on any of these questions. And if you're just watching this video and you want to be tagged and do this, please do. Just say I tagged you, because if you want to do it, do it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.